I'm gonna say this is probably the shortest panel that we've ever existed with me.
I love this. Now, how tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm 5'3" and a half.
5'3" and a half.
I'm 5'2".
Man, you guys are my goal height.
Wait, well, how tall are you?
Wow. I'm 4'11" on a good day. I never quite hit 5 feet.
I'm telling you, it's, yeah, all of a sudden you walked in and I was like, I don't know if this is us right now. Well, Melissa, everyone loved you on Big Bang Theory, obviously. It's such a great show. One person that doesn't love that show. So you started out in comedy doing impressions, right?
I did, yeah. I loved doing any sort of comedy as a kid, and I was like the kid on the playground who didn't really understand recess. Like, I was like, this seems exhausting, just the running around. So I was like, how do I make the most use of the time? And I thought maybe I could like make some coin. I was always looking for like to save money to get something at Claire's Boutique. So I was like, well, maybe if I charge 25 cents for an impression, I can make money. But like, if kids have pocket change, they're not gonna spend it on like a Don Knotts impression from a 7-year-old, but I would do it anyway. Occasionally, like there were some takers, and then I was shut down eventually because like my mom got a call and they're like, my kid didn't buy milk today because they said they bought an Alf impression.
So Melissa, and here you are as a kid. Look how cute you are.
Oh.
Is this one of your shows? Is this
Yes, my brother and I would do shows in our basement. That was Little Shop of Horrors.
Nice.
We didn't really have a proper stage. As you can see, that was a lawn chair, and there was always fear that like your foot would fall through.
Yes, it's one of the plastic ones with the weave.
Exactly.
Like
At any point you could break an ankle.
Yes.
Not the most appropriate show for a 6-year-old. Little Shop of
Probably
Horrors.
not,
Like,
but it's okay. Most of it went over our heads.
It's true.
Yeah.
And to learn at a young age that at any point you get eaten by a man-eating plant.
Totally.
Builds character.
Yeah, it builds fear.
Exactly.
So we didn't want to leave Christina out. So here's Christina around the same age. Look at you!
Oh my God.
I mean, you ribboned and everything, ma'am.
I won something. Yep.
Yeah. So were you a swimmer? My kids love swimming. I'm trying to keep them in it.
Yeah, I swam every summer on a swim team, but
That's
not
so
year round.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good for you. I keep trying to.
That's probably
my
why
kids
you
to do
broke 5 feet. That's what I should have been doing. Just working those muscles.
Working them out. So wait, you're now in the new Night Court, and we were just talking, we love the original Night Court. So is it similar to the original show?
It is. It's very much a continuation of the original. We're calling it a new boot because it's not exactly a reboot. It's very much has the nostalgia of the original, and it's grounded in that history. And we have the amazing John Larroquette back, reprising his role as Dan Fielding.
Yeah.
But we also have this wonderful new cast of characters around them. So people who aren't familiar with the first incarnation, they could come to it and needing no prior knowledge. And so it's a new boot, which we originally, when we came up with that term, it was a joke, and then we ended up liking it. We're like, all right.
I actually thought it was awesome. I heard y'all call it a new boot, and I was like, how has no one used that before?
Awesome.
So we're all mamas of 2 kids. So how old are your kiddos?
They're about 3 and 5.
3 and 5?
Yeah, how about you guys?
Okay, mine are 6 and 8. That's not too far off.
Yeah.
I've got 15 months and 8-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
15 months and an 8-year-old, so different. You're
really different.
You're carrying the bag again with all the junk.
Yeah, you got
like a Sherpa.
Oh yeah, you should see my car.
So we all have kiddos with similar ages, so we thought it might be nice to take a moment for ourselves and all the other rad mamas out there by connecting over coffee and answering a few mama questions from our viewers. This is a Rad Mama Moment. All right, thank you, Marcel. Give it up for Marcel, giving us some. I like it. Oh, this is mine? Okay. So wait, okay, I think this is yours, Melissa. Okay, there we go.
This is so nice.
This is for you.
Wow.
Take it or don't, but I love warm
lovely.
drinks. Yep.
This is so nice.
I'm like Elf when it comes to tea and coffee. We have our refreshments. So now here's our first viewer question. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. Shireen from Chicago asks, my kids are at very different stages, but sometimes the older one asks complicated questions when the younger is around. What are some harder questions you've had to deal with from your older kids in front of the younger ones?
Well, I'm out of this question because Cleo, my 15-month-old, has no idea what's going on. So
Yeah.
There's nothing to hide from her.
You gotta pass. Okay.
I'm out, ladies.
You know, my question, the things that keep on bumping me are the fact that I feel like I should have paid attention more in elementary school. Like, if the teacher would have said, like, learn this, because at some point your kid's gonna ask this.
Yes.
And you're not gonna wanna look like a dummy.
Yeah.
Because now, like the other day, it was like, how are clouds made? I'm like, water droplets turn into water vapors and it goes into the sky. And I'm like, I wish. And then I'm like Googling secretly and then reading it as if I know.
I Google openly. I'm like, let's find out.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's good.
That's our whole thing is I go, let's see what, I know what it is, but somebody else can explain this better than I can.
Totally.
So I Google openly.
It's a good,
with
it's
no
a,
shame.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
me
start.
and Freddie definitely go online for things.
Yes.
My parents, they wouldn't tell us anything. We had to go check the encyclopedias. So they were like,
Yes.
what did we buy all these encyclopedias for? If we're just gonna tell you everything. So now I'm like, well, let's use Safari.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah.
remember those Encyclopedia
Yeah, we
Brown?
had
like
a,
the
oh
organic,
yeah,
like all,
oh yeah,
my
we had a
God.
whole set. And we had
I
to do our own
loved,
research.
I never had those, but I always wanted them. My friends had those. Were
They
cool.
were useful.
Here's the next one though. It's from Lisa in Brooklyn, and she says, I have a 5-year-old and am pregnant with my second. How do you prepare your older child for a new baby coming? Ooh. How did you specifically do that? Because they're pretty different ages.
Well, Freddie has always wanted a sibling and begged me for one. So I was just like, you're getting a baby.
Congratulations.
You get a baby, you get a baby. Yeah, he was pretty fine about it. He didn't really understand how much attention the baby would be needing. And now he'll watch us with her and then he'll say, so when I was a baby, did I get this much attention? I'm like, yes, you're alive, right? Yeah. You were followed around, made sure you didn't harm yourself, you were fed.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you do that with your?
We had read that it was good to give the older child a gift from the baby when you came home with the baby. We did it, but my kid was like, the baby got me a gift. Did the baby go and drive to get me a, really, what money did the baby buy this gift? This seems like a fabrication. I'm not on board for
It's
it.
lies.
Exactly.
My kids, this is hilarious. So they're 6 and 8 and they want me to have another baby, right? I'm like I don't have enough going on. and I'm like, I don't really think that's gonna happen, but we can get a puppy. And so I got a puppy, but then their older sister just had her first child, and because she's quite a bit older, and they went and they were so excited. I was like, get your baby stuff out right now. You're gonna go see her and her little one. I was like, get it out. My daughter was like, oh my God, she's so excited. And literally like 4 days later, she came back to me and was like, you're not allowed to have a baby.
Wow.
She was like, you can't, they cry a lot. The baby, I guess, didn't attach to her quite how she wanted.
Oh.
So it was hilarious, and I need to send a thank you gift to her sister, because I was like, Mama's not having another baby right now. So, okay, so we have to take another commercial break because I need to stop talking. A new episode of Yellow Jackets premieres this Friday on Showtime, and Night Court airs on Tuesdays on NBC and streams the next day on Peacock.